1470 is WWNN Pompano Beach and 95.3 FM W237BD Boca Raton, the Health and Wealth Radio Network. Talk here, talk there. Talk 1470 AM and 95.3 FM, the Health and Wealth Radio Network. WNN.
Need to get some rest. This is the worst headache ever.
Right arm's all tingly all of a sudden. Must have slept on it last night.
I keep losing my balance. These old bones need some exercise.
Granddaddy, what you just said doesn't even make sense. It sounds like gibberish.
Signs like these could be more than what they seem. They could be a sign of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Crane. Welcome to Create Your Greenest Grass. Connect with me each week to create a life you love. Now, let's get started. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you today for another beautiful Thursday of connection. To tell you a little more about myself, I'm the author of the book, The Grass is Greenest Where I Am, which will be coming out this summer. It speaks about no scarcity, no comparison, and no competition. Living in our own love and light and sharing. We all have a special gift in our life, so sharing our special gift with the world. I really believe the journey, we have to do it and really connect to ourselves. So everything that we connect within ourselves, we can actually bring out to the world. So when we take that time to grow within ourselves, we can actually do beautiful things out in the world. I'm also run an incredible group that I'm very proud of. It's called Concious Co-op. We meet once a month at the Wyndham Hotel in Boca Raton, 1950 Glades Road. We have a beautiful space. We're in the ballroom on the second floor of the Wyndham Hotel. And the lunch is a beautiful, incredible vegan lunch that everybody gets to enjoy. We have about 40 to 60 people come together, and it's really growing, which I'm really excited about. I believe connection is the key to everything we want in our lives. When we're able to meet the right people and connect with them, they can help us along this journey. And when we raise our consciousness, we learn to help each other and share information with each other. We all get to grow. So we shine our light on each other, and then the world gets to be a better place. And I'm really committed to you, your transformation and your growth, because I love you and I want the best for you. I'll be your biggest cheerleader. And that's what it's all about. We cheer for each other, we help each other, and life is a beautiful thing. So I hope you join us. Our next meeting is going to be on April 27th from 11:30 to 2 p.m. at the Wyndham Hotel in Boca Raton. You can sign up on my website, noahcrane.com. Let me spell that for you. NOAHCRANE.com. And go under Concious Co-op and sign up for the lunch. I do hope you sign up in advance because it's more expensive at the door. And I really don't want to charge anybody more than the $27 that it costs for the lunch. It's just that I have to be prepared and know how many people are coming, and I don't want to pay for food when people are not going to come. So I hope you can sign up at least 2 days in advance to help me out, and then we can create beautiful time together. We always have an inspirational speaker. This month we're featuring Dr. Shivanti Gupta, who will share her beautiful information with us of how to heal ourselves and heal our life through Ayurvedic medicine. I'm very excited that she's going to be there. And also Sunny Arfa from Feel Great Meditate is always with us. She always grounds us, helps us connect to ourselves. Sunny, I love you. You add so much to Concious Co-op. I really couldn't do it with everybody's help because we all need each other for this to happen. I can't do it by myself. So thank you. I thank everybody out there that supports me, that supports this mission of connection and really creating great things in the world together. My show is about Create Your Greenest Grass. And I'm all about helping you create your greenest grass and helping you really nurture yourself, nurture your life, and make this journey even more inspiring, even happier, even more joyful. And today I have a very special show with you. I have a dear friend of mine. Her name is Suzanne Wachtel. She's a therapist in Boca Raton area. She helps people through many areas of their lives, whether it's grief or divorce or relationships or anything with their kids. I think she also does sex therapy, I just heard. Any area of your life that's not working, all right, you got to give Suzanne a call. She's absolutely amazing. I love her. She's very special. And I'm honored to have her here today. And we're going to be talking today about a very interesting subject. It's called breaking up with your inner critic. What does that mean? So we're going to get more of that from Suzanne. But what it makes me think of is a tale, an old tale that I heard many times before about each one of us having two wolves in our head. This grandfather is actually, to go back a little bit, is sitting one day with his grandson. And he tells his grandson, there's two wolves in your head. And they're always fighting. There's the bad wolf and the good wolf. And they're always going after each other. And the grandson looks at his grandfather and says, Grandpa, which one wins? And the grandpa says, the one you feed the most. And it makes me kind of think of maybe the inner critic. What are we feeding the most? What are we connecting to the most in our lives that really can either really help us on the journey and help us rise above the obstacles, or actually stumps us? And learning to notice it and realize when it comes up. Because I think the first step is to notice that. And it's the opponent. I always talk to my kids about there's an opponent inside of you, and don't listen to that opponent. He's always trying to have you do the wrong thing. Kind of the same thing. Suzanne, I want to welcome you to our show. Thank you really. Thank you for being here. Yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. And
yes, I've been a psychotherapist, a licensed clinical social worker for about 15 years. I had a practice in Long Island, and now I've been in Boca for 4 years. And I work with all kinds of life events, whether it's grief. So many families are losing children to the opioid overdose epidemic, going through a divorce, trying to really be your best through the most difficult times, you know, really being responsible parents, taking care of yourself, just relationships in general, life transitions. And the reason this topic really appeals to me is because when I have a myriad of patients in front of me, no matter what their problem is, if I ask them the one question, what do you say to yourself every day? And if they think about it, it's usually something quite negative. And that is that inner critic. It's putting yourself down. I'm too fat. I'm not good enough. I'm a bad mom. Or there's so many things we're not even aware of that get in our way of success to have a happy, joyful life.
Yes, I agree. And I know my own inner critic always comes in too. And I've learned to listen to it. And actually, you know what I tell that inner critic? I say, thank you for sharing, but I know it's not the truth. So that's how I deal with my inner critic. I say, thank you for sharing, but no. Because my judgments come in, and I have to know that my judgments and my inner critic is not always wanting to send me in the right path.
Everybody, no matter how successful they are, how beautiful they are, how wealthy they are, how whatever you think you see in a person, inside most of them have an inner dialogue of putting themselves down.
Yes.
And it is such a bad habit. Mm-hmm. So the first step is to really be aware of what you're saying and stop it. Like, see a big stop sign in your face every time you hear something negative in your own head. Because that is like brainwashing. And the things you hear more and more over and over again, you start to believe is truth. So it's about stopping it and then replacing it with the truth, the positive things. Mm-hmm. I'm a good person, I'm worth it, I'm valuable, I'm successful, I can do it, I'll get there. And it's so powerful to say that to yourself.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense, to be able to replace, to know that the voice is there, but then be able to replace that sounds like a powerful.
And then you gain confidence. I've observed you do that through your journey.
Yes, absolutely.
You started out with an idea, and then all of that positive talk, self-talk, mm-hmm. and it just motivated you into becoming successful. Mm-hmm. I was at your last event. It was really impressive and very, very wonderful. The speaker was great. The food was delicious. So I look forward to your next one next week.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. What does it mean when we say break up with our inner critic? That doesn't mean that we don't hear the inner critic anymore. Is it what we said, just replacing it with different words?
Those inner, I call it the shadow too.
Okay.
The shadow is just something that haunts you, that's always there, like the wolf. There's always going to be that, negative wolf on your shoulder trying to get you to fail.
Right.
And so it's being aware. Breaking up with the inner critic means to be aware and to not validate it. Just get rid of it, really, and not give it any power. And to really encourage that good wolf, that good shadow, to come in and fill you with positive thoughts, and just trying to reverse it.
And it sounds like a practice. Like it's something that we have to practice on a daily basis.
Yes.
That the more we practice, the better we get at it.
It's a habit. It's a total habit. Anything you do repetitively, negative or positive, becomes a fact.
Right.
Right? Even people that are terrorists, they weren't born terrorists. They were told repeatedly over and over again to be negative and hateful, and that's what they become. So it's about telling yourself to be positive and loving and open and have confidence in yourself. Like, we're so wonderful to strangers or friends, but when it comes to our own inner self, we really need to love and take care of ourselves.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And also, I remember reading in Louise Hay book about almost like nurturing yourself, like you're the child, and taking yourself like you're the child and loving yourself. So when you're like in a place of chaos or a place where you're feeling really bad about yourself, think of you as your little girl. Like, what would you do to that little girl right now? Would you take her? Would you put her on your lap? Would you hug her? Would you take her to a spa? Would you take her to a nice lunch? Would you take her to the mall? Like, what nice thing can you do for her? Because right now she's hurting.
For sure. And that all of us have an inner child. I do a lot of inner child work.
Right.
To repair and to really make you responsible for taking care of that little child inside of you that's hurting or feeling lost, and really stopping and thinking, how can I repair her or make her feel better, or him? And, what would you do, like waking up and saying, gee, I'm my own date today. What could I do today to have a wonderful day?
Right.
Is it taking a walk? Is it helping a friend? I know for me, helping other people brings me joy and makes me feel elated. So I like to do that. I like to enjoy my day. I like to have fun. And some people would call it selfish or self-centered, and I really believe it's self-full, taking care of yourself. And then when you feel wonderful and powerful and full, then you have the ability to take care and help others and be that person.
Yeah, it sounds like filling up your cup. And I really believe that we need to daily fill up our cup with love and light. And whatever we do for ourselves, whether it's we work out, and most of all, you probably agree with me, is being able to connect to our gratitude. Because gratitude is a big part of us feeling really good in our lives. Because we actually, what I see it also is looking at what's working in our life rather than not focusing on what's not working. Because there's always things that are not working, right? And there's so many things that are working. But we tend to focus on that what's not working instead of what's working in our lives.
And when it comes to gratitude, I believe you hit on it. Gratitude is the key to happiness and feeling fulfilled and joy. Every morning I get up, and sometimes reluctantly, and I have 3 dogs that need to go out. And when I get outside into the beautiful light, every morning I say a gratitude list of everything I'm grateful for, from the food in my belly to the roof over my head. And as simple as it sounds, it's just starting at the bottom where you can only grow.
Yes.
And it's really powerful, because if you're having a bad day, there's so many good things to be grateful for, even on a bad day.
Even just having a roof over your head, being able to dress, get dressed in the morning, be able to breathe, even something as small as like an injury. Like, I've had a lot of injuries this year. I don't know what that means, but I've had injuries. It kind of kept me from looking at myself a little deeper. I had a shoulder injury, I had a knee injury, and it really makes you appreciate
life.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate it, because there's so many people that are so much worse off than us.
Oh my God, I am grateful that I have good health, but this year I suffered from the flu, and then I got pneumonia. It was so serious that just to be able to take a deep breath and not cough and to have some strength again, I am so grateful every day. I'm sure it'll wear off, because we all become like it wears off. Sure. But when you're grateful for just taking a breath, I mean, you can't get more basic than that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the big part of it too is that connection to ourselves. Again, that you said maybe some people would think is selfish, but there's nothing selfish about self-love, self-connection, because what we don't have, we can't give out. So everything we want to give has to be in us first.
For sure. And then you live by that rule. Like, you take care of yourself, and then that's how you respect and take care of other people that you value or know in your life. right? With that special degree of respect and love and gratitude.
Right.
Yeah. And then hopefully it rubs off on other people that are negative that we're related to and stuff. And they become a little more positive.
Yes, and I do think it's contagious. I was thinking about it last night when I was in the shower, that it's almost like a snowball effect, you know, like a dominoes. When you push one over, then it feeds off each other.
Sure.
And I noticed that even in my children, everything that they really are mirrors of us, right? Our kids, everything that we like, everything that we don't like is in our kids.
Yeah.
And I noticed how when I start changing, when I do better, when I'm more positive, I see that shift in my kids, and I see that shift that I have on everybody around me.
It's also energy. Like, I feel that being positive is a certain energy and being negative is an energy in itself.
Absolutely.
And when you walk into a room, you can feel the energy. So when you're grateful and you're positive and you're starting your day with love, self-love, it just creates a positive energy that's going to touch other people throughout your day, and being kind and just smiling and really not allowing that negative energy, which is the same as that inner critic or the shadow or the wolf, to take over your life or contaminate your peaceful self.
Right. I wanted to say that Susanna and I are taking phone calls, if anybody wants to call us, at 888-565-1470. And also questions. If you have any questions for us on Facebook, it looks like there's something here from Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. But I don't see the question. You can also, I just saw her name, but okay. So we will take questions if you have any questions. Can our inner critic, and this is a question, can our inner critic, can we transform it into being our cheerleader? I always wonder about that.
Only if you want to. You can do anything you set your mind to do. What I have found is many people just really want to be in a negative place and hold on to that negative criticism.
Right.
And until you really are willing to let it go, I mean, some people will say, oh, it's a Pollyanna thing to think positive or to be so happy. You know, it's like annoying to some people. But that negative inner critic is just going to ruin your life. And unless you really work at it, it's you know, negative sometimes outweighs positive. It's easier to sit and complain, right,
Yes.
than to sit and say, wow, you know, this is going well in my life and that's going well. But you could sit there and complain about this happened and that happened, and you know, and people are comfortable doing that.
Yes, makes a lot of sense. Last week we spoke, Suzanne, about forgiveness. And one thing that I forgot to mention, okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hello, my name is Noah Crane, and I am a life and relationship coach. How would you like to create more love and peace in your life today? Have you ever met someone and had a deep connection right away? Do you want to experience that feeling all the time? I can guide you step by step to a deeper sense of love and fulfillment and teach you how to sustain it. Call me at 561-774-1991 or email me at info@noahcrane.com. You can also visit my website, noahcrane.com, NOAHCRANE.com. I really look forward to connecting with you. Have a beautiful day.
Are you striving to create a healthier existence for yourself, your business, and your family? If so, we want to invite you to join Conscious Co-op South Florida, a wellness-minded group made up of individuals and businesses focused on empowerment through education and creating a more conscious community connection. Conscious Co-op South Florida meets monthly for lunch at the Boca Raton Wyndham Hotel, and the $27 admission fee includes lunch and a featured guest speaker. On April 27th, we will meet nationally renowned Ayurvedic specialist, Dr. Shivani Gupta, who will teach us the basics on Ayurvedic medicine. For more information and to register, visit noahcrane.com, that's NOAHCRANE.com, or email info@noahcrane.com. You have been listening to Create Your Greenest Grass Show.
creating your best life with no comparison, no competition, and no scarcity. Filling your life with love and light daily and sharing your special gifts with the world. And now, back to the show. Well, we're on the air again. Hello. When we just went to commercial, we were talking about forgiveness and how last week I had a guest here speaking about forgiveness and how she was able to reconnect with her family after 22 years, which is really amazing. What I wanted to talk about forgiveness is that what I realized in life is that we have to learn, and I didn't speak about that last week, but what it is, the work is in us, of course, always. And when we learn to break, so I always talk about that cycle that we're in. And in that cycle, you know, the negative voice, everything that we feed into our cycle, our past, what our parents did, because our parents were in their cycle. And our job in this lifetime, and I really believe that, is to be able to break that cycle. Because when we can break out of that cycle, whether it's the negative cycle we've been in, whether it's how our life was before, whether we were abused or we were treated badly. I've had a lot of that in my own life. And the work is in us, because the more we can break that cycle and we can shift and change, and we learn to forgive people and create something different for our life. So it's our job to recreate our life. It's our job to keep shifting and changing and becoming who we need to be in the world.
Well, if you want to find your power, forgiveness is really the way to do it. Like when you hear of people that's children, let's say, were murdered, and the parents go to the murderer and forgive them. It's really not for the murderer, it's for them.
Absolutely.
To let go of that anger and that victim situation. Being a victim is a terrible feeling.
Yes.
Because you have no power when you're a victim. When you choose to forgive someone, it's taking your power back.
Absolutely.
And remaining angry, many people remain angry because it feels powerful to them. So they're hateful and angry, and they have a million reasons why, you know, they can hate someone or be mad at them. But to forgive them is really so much more genuine and healing.
Yes.
To be angry is like picking up a hot coal and expecting someone else to be burned.
Right.
It just hurts you.
Yeah, and forgiveness is giving yourself the freedom to feel good in your life. So when we forgive other people, we're giving ourselves the freedom to break those cycles and move forward in our life.
And how about the most important thing, getting back to this inner critic?
Yes.
Is to forgive yourself.
Yes.
We all
absolutely.
make mistakes, but I call them learning experiences. We all do things we're not proud of. We all, you know, have made choices that weren't the greatest. And if you forgive yourself and you learn from it, then you're building yourself up with life experience. So forgiveness is the key to really, if you want to talk about breaking up with that inner critic, it's not being a victim anymore and just letting go of any self-loathing, which does nobody any good.
And how do we learn to treat ourselves with more compassion? Is there certain tools we can give people today?
Yes.
How they can walk away from tonight and be able to take away and bring into their lives so they can actually break that cycle in their lives of that self-critic constantly putting blocks in their way? How can they connect more to their love and compassion?
The first step is to really sit down and actually make a list of the things you love about yourself, and then the things that, you know, maybe you'd like to work on.
Okay.
And just to forgive yourself that you're not perfect, because I don't know many perfect people,
right,
if any, and to really start with a mantra.
I love that.
Like, I am a good person. I deserve to have a good life.
Right.
And it may sound corny, but after a while, you just start to believe it. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have joy. Especially people that are grieving, they feel so lost and powerless. And if they can just forgive the universe, these things happen. How do you find happiness again? You have to just get back to being grateful and finding things that bring you pleasure and joy, even though your loved one is gone. And you're allowed to be happy. Just because you've suffered doesn't mean that you have to be unhappy. And the inner critic is really responsible for saying, why should you be happy? You know, and putting you down, and you're not good enough and you don't deserve it. And that's the stuff you have to really get rid of and break up with and be aware of first.
My question is, if we resist the inner critic, because sometimes they say whatever you resist persists. So I'm thinking maybe we should welcome the inner critic, listen to the inner critic, but then be able to change it within ourselves.
Well, that's where therapy comes in.
Right.
I really believe in therapy because it's like having a special degree about yourself. You learn, what's holding you back, what's really getting in your way from feeling joyful and content and happy. So once you get in touch with all that and you meet your inner child, then you have that ability. And sometimes it's very hard, Noah, to do it on your own.
Yes.
It really is. I've been to therapy. I went for years.
Yes. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
But we have 2 minutes left. Can you tell people how they can get in touch with you? If
Sure.
they want therapy, how can they reach you?
Okay, so I have a website called boca-therapy.com. It's Suzanne Wachtel, and I have a phone number, 631-525-3646. And I'm in Boca, local, and if I am not a good match, I can certainly refer you to many people that would be great.
Yes, and I can personally say I've worked with Suzanne before, and she's absolutely a beautiful, incredible space to be with.
Thank you.
Remember, I want you to remember this mantra: the grass is greenest where I am. The grass is greenest where I am. It really is. Nurture yourself, nurture your life, love yourself, and be your own best friend, because the world needs you. And you can make a difference for each one of us. We all need each other. Let's support each other in this lifetime. Let's do great things together. Let's lean on each other. Till next time, thank you, Suzanne, for being here.
Thank
Have a
you,
beautiful
Noah.
evening. See you next time.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night. Hi, this is Noah Crane. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, the grass is greenest where you are. Tune in next week as we keep exploring and finding and recreating a life we love.
America's service members and veterans are strong, forged out of brave